So far, I've recorded 1 hour and 40 minutes of video. We haven't even gotten to the hard stuff yet. So, let's try to get this validate out of the way quickly. So, this is going to take a string parameter I, and all of these are going to take the string parameter I. Just going to pass it along. That's how I like to work. So, let's see. So, this one should be rather simple. Validate array length method. So, as long as I length, right? As long as this is, let's see, less than or equal to the max digits, which is the maximum. I don't think I even talked about this much. The maximum amount of digits you can stick into this huge integer implementer class type thing project that we're making has to be 80. That's the maximum amount. So we have to verify the length of it. It has to be less than or equal to that. So if it's less than or equal to that, then we should return true, right? Otherwise we should return false. So hope you got that. If the length of I is less than or equal to 80, then return true. It is valid. True, when you think is something valid, it's true if it's valid. You'll see it makes sense if you think about it. Alright, so let's see, validate characters method. Okay, so here again we have to go through a for loop. Let's steal one out of somewhere. Let's go from left to right, right? Yeah, I want to go from left to right here. Especially, yes, this is extremely appropriate because one vulnerability that I foresee is that we have the positive and negative characters as being valid characters. So we have to assure that we're careful with that. We don't want someone putting in, and when they're initializing a number, we can't have them put in plus 111 plus 1. It'll just probably maybe even take the plus and turn into a 0, as if you look at the sign of character array, that's what set sign character array, that's what it would do. So we just have to be careful here. So now it's going to go from left to right, so we need it to detect if. Now this is going to be again crude, but I think very effective. Character at index will be counter. Yes. If this is equal to, let's see, it can be equal to 0, right? That seems to work. Let me just test that alone. Yes. All right. This works fine. So in here we're going to have the OR operator, and if you remember the OR operator, if this is true or what's on the other side of the OR is true, then we do what's inside. We then execute the block of the if statement. So actually what I want to do is I want to copy and paste this over and over again. So and I want space. There we go. So let's go like that. Actually, let me zoom out for a second so I can see everything I'm doing. Alright, so I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what else. 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's continue it. 8. Oh. 9. Okay, so I think I want to stop there. And really at the beginning here, I want to have the positive and the negative symbols identified. So if a positive negative symbol is identified, or one of these, let's see, I want it to continue going through the loop. Let's see, actually trying to think here. Let me think for a second. Alright, I thought about it. I think I know what I want to do. Alright, so if it's one of these, we will consider it valid. So if it's anything else, and we will use the else now. Now have it in blocks, just to be specific, or just return false. Excellent. Oh, semicolon. Always forget that. So otherwise, if it's true, it's found a positive or a negative value. Alright. Then once it finds that positive negative value, I don't want it to check for that positive negative value anymore. And I feel that there might be an even better way of doing this. I think this way is a bit crude, even for my standards. I'm trying to remember how I did it in the other one. So it's going to do this if block again, except now this internal block, oh, I'll get rid of the, we want to continue using the same counter. Don't need to start over the counter. Then we want to test for the rest of them to be zero values. So if it's that, then don't do anything, and otherwise return false. And in the end, this is the most outer loop here. In the end, if it doesn't find any problems, return true. Okay, so I hope you understand what I did there. Basically, this loop is going through the string array. Basically, that's what I'm going to call it. So, and let's say we have a number. First, everything's initialized to 0, of course. Then we have a plus and a 1, 2, 3. So it's going to go ahead. It's going to see the 0. It's going to say, okay. Like, let's see. It's going to see the 0, right? Once it sees the 0, then it's going to skip over to the end of the loop, correct? And then it will just loop again with the next character. So that was for 0. Then we check this one. Then we find the positive. Alright. Is there an erase key type of thing? Nope. Sometimes when I press T and it erases the lines, but I can't. Anyway, let me do this in blue. So, and I hope the red and blue is not hurting your eyes. If it is, I'm sorry. So, the integer, this is position 0, 1, 2. The counter's on 2 now. So it's going through here. And it finds the positive. Alright, it says, okay, we found a positive. Now let's execute this loop. And all we're going to do is we're going to continue this loop. Instead, now we're going to check the remainder for just integers. And in fact, it would actually use the same counter that ran. So we'd have to actually, before entering this for loop, just increment the counter once. Otherwise, it wouldn't detect I hope you understand what I'm talking about there. That it will be checking. Okay, 0, 0, positive 1. So, oh boy, I think I just ran out of time. Great. Yep, I have to continue this in the next video. I was hoping this validate could be done in one video. See ya.